Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. On the broadcast today, Rick Velotta joins us. He covers gaming and tourism for the Las Vegas Review-Journal. Here for the whole show on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
Welcome to Story County, where history meets innovation, and a pioneering spirit continues to shape our future. At the heart of the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center, we power the future with global leaders in technology and manufacturing, driving progress that reaches far beyond our county lines. From advanced manufacturing to tech innovation, our industries are creating thousands of quality careers, fueling a vibrant economy that benefits every Nevadan. But it's more than just growth. Our community is our foundation, supporting families, empowering local initiatives, and creating a place where everyone belongs. Be part of a legacy built on bold ideas and boundless possibilities. Join us in building a brighter future right here in Story County. Story County, helping build Nevada's future.
The new year is bringing so much fun to Tamarack Casino with cash and free play drawings Thursdays and Saturdays, and $40,000 in grand finale giveaways Thursday, February 27th. Your good times are at Tamarack Casino.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with host Sam Shad, a no-holds-barred political forum. Now, from the Nevada Newsmakers broadcast headquarters, here is Sam Shad.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, coming to you from the Ahern Hotel in Las Vegas. We're always pleased to welcome back to the program Rick Velotta. He covers tourism and gaming for the Las Vegas Review-Journal. I got to interview the architect Paul Steelman the other day, legendary architect, and he said the Sphere is going to change the way casinos and entertainment project their images forever. What do you think about that?
It's very likely true. Anybody who's gone to the Sphere or has seen it from the outside knows that just some of the imagery that you see is extraordinary. And it's always a matter of, when you live around here, you always think, wow, what are they going to do next? And I can see how Mr. Steelman would say that, in that this is an innovative means of displaying just about anything you want to show visually. So obviously, if you're a casino operator, you're going to want to either keep up or somehow tag on to what the newest thing is. And that certainly, the building has just drawn a lot of raves across the world.
I'm still surprised that London didn't go for it. I mean, I understand that there were, complaints, that people were going to be upset by all the light and everything. But I still think if you can do the London Eye, you could have done the Sphere.
Well, that's what I would have thought too. And I think that the administrators at MSG thought the same thing, and were equally surprised by the fact that they were rejected by the people there. And it's, I don't know. I'm not exactly familiar with the neighborhood where they were going to build it. I understand it's the former Olympic Village site, but I can't imagine that would be that much of a distraction, especially if they have some limitations on when they're going to be operating it at night, or how bright it was going to be, or something of that nature. Now around here, where we're a little bit, we were a little bit nervous about the fact that there was going to be sound produced. But that hasn't caused any major problems within the community as far as I know.
No, really not. Let's talk about an interesting topic that's come up via Fortune magazine. which is that Phil Ruffin is looking to sell Circus and the land with it, 102 acres, which is a vast amount of land. I believe City Center is built on 65 acres, so this is even bigger than that. In talking to various people with knowledge, they have said $5 billion is way too much, maybe $2.5 billion. But what are your thoughts on what you could do with that land? And also, do you drop out the lower end of business out of Las Vegas if you remove Circus?
There are so many points of entry to that story. I mean, it's incredible. And just to be fair, I tried to talk to Mr. Ruffin specifically about some of these things. He declined an interview, so I had to go to some of the people in the know, like you have, to get some ideas. Vast space. There's some strip frontage, so that's a plus. There's some big spaces where they have basically a fairground right now. That's a plus. They have the Circus building itself and the Adventure Dome, which is the theme park that's attached to it. That's a plus. I'm thinking that you don't need one big project. You probably are going to be better off if it was split up, and some of the developers that have specific desires on what they want, whether they want a strip front, whether they want to use a vast area, or whether they just want to do some work on the Circus to maybe preserve some of the identity that it had in the past. Those are three different things right there. Some of the analysts I talked to said maybe that's a location for the film studio. Who knows? And then you try to look at what's going to be there in the future. It's across the street. There's potential for a basketball arena. There's some more residential that's going to be there. There's going to be more hotel rooms. So I think that people who are going to be looking at that development are going to need to take some of that into account as to what's going to be there in the future. It's not like what it's there now, but there's no doubt in my mind that the North Strip is going to be a much more robust place in the future, and it's not going to end at Sahara Avenue like I think a lot of people think it does.
Okay, so, and that brings up a really great point. I was talking to the mayor about this. It's great to talk to Mayor Berkeley now. It's very different than Mayor Goodman's over the last 25 years. But if you develop past Sahara Avenue, now you are now off the Strip and you are into the city of Las Vegas. And just beyond Sahara is what's known as Naked City.
Right.
What do you think that does in terms of redevelopment if you start pushing that way?
I think eventually, and this is a long way in the future, probably beyond when you and I are here, is that eventually that strip is going to elongate all the way to downtown.
Really?
And eventually, that's my thoughts on that. But that's a long way off. But the fact is that you've got two major gaming components, the Strip and then downtown Las Vegas. And as that moves forward, I mean, if it does expand into city of Las Vegas land, and I think it's funny that the county doesn't consider the Strat to be on the Strip. They say that's in the city of Las Vegas. It's not part of the Strip. Well, okay, that's, people who are just driving in through town aren't going to really acknowledge that. And there's a big design element that's over the street that says welcome to the city of Las Vegas. Okay, but most people don't really, they don't see that. They don't see that boundary as being anything. So what makes sense? Well, it makes sense to me that there's some redevelopment, maybe a complete re-identification of that neighborhood from what is now referred to as Naked City further north until you get to downtown Las Vegas.
Well, if you'd have said that to me 20 years ago, I would have looked at you a little askew. But with Derek Stevens and Circa, another Paul Steelman production, it makes total sense that you're going to see it being pushed from both ends.
Right, and again, and then in the long haul, I suspect that we'll see more expansion to the south as well. I think there's a limit to how far south you can go just based on things. And it looks like right now the M Resort's about as far south as you're going to be. But in between there's a lot of really good properties that are doing very good business, South Point among them. And then, you've got this project that may or may not be built where the end of the light rail, the high-speed rail station is going to be built. So I would think that
because that's another big, that's
sure.
100 acres there as well.
Right. And so you've got to suspect that large acreage at that position, like Warm Springs and Las Vegas Boulevard, is eventually going to see something. Whether that's something that's going to be developed as it currently is planned, I don't know. I mean, we're not hearing enough from some of the developers of that area as to what their future plans are, what they're going to do. I mean, we've heard talk of an NBA-ready arena there. We've heard talk of a Major League Soccer stadium in that area. There's all kinds of things that could happen, but I think everything has to start to fall in place, and the developers have to make some decisions and bring those decisions forward to county government to see that that's feasible.
Yeah, and in the same long term that you were talking about, the Strip pushing all the way down to downtown, you've got a new airport that's going to end up, in the late 30s, maybe 2040, opening up in Ivanpah. And Tick Segerblum, the chair of the Clark County Commission's biggest concern is that that's going to force development all the way down there.
Wow, that's like way down the road.
Right.
But at the same time, I can understand why Tick Segerblum would have that concern, because anybody who's seen how an airport develops knows that one of the first things that people get interested in is, hey, I need to be close to the airport. That happened in Denver. That happened
right.
in Pittsburgh. That happened in a number of different places. You see these areas where you think that the airport is out in the middle of nowhere. All of a sudden, it's got things around it, whether that's residential or business or something else. There are people there's an appeal to being close to the airport. A lot of it in the early stages is hotels. If it's a hotel, is it going to be a gaming hotel? We don't know. I mean, that's something that only the future will tell us what's going to happen.
Yeah, Zach Conine, the state treasurer, was on the program a week or so ago, and he was talking about the bonding capacity that they have available now. And he was not talking about Ivanpah, the airport. He was talking about the 17,000 acres adjacent to it for the community that will grow up there. And I thought how interesting already people are now looking at investment potential.
Yeah, and I mean, we know that the airport's not going to be there until maybe 2038 is what the last forecasts have been. But that that people are going to have their eye on what can we do to prepare for that, and how can we develop the neighborhoods around that new airport. So I think we're going to be seeing some of that, but not for a while, but we'll see it.
Maybe the first clue is if Stations and Boyd start buying land. Let's take a break. More with Rick Velotta when we come back. As you know, Reno is booming. Toll's development company is helping it grow with insightful design and development, building community with every project, adding beauty, adding excitement, emphasizing our shared humanity. Reno is becoming bigger. Toll's development is helping it become better, more livable, more enjoyable. To learn more, go to tollsdevelopment.com. tollsdevelopment.com.
Like a traditional handmade basket, retail is woven into the fabric of life in Nevada. From big box to mom and pop, retail supports our communities in countless ways. Jobs for the disabled, team uniforms for kids, help for the elderly, and so much more. Retail employs over 1 in 10 workers. Retail supports Nevada, and we support retail.
RANNV.org.
Pro Group Management specializes in providing industries with the necessary components to satisfy and exceed workers' comp requirements. Every business has unique needs and specific regulations. Pro Group Management stays ahead of the curve, providing up-to-date services to keep your industry in top form. Discover how we simplify your tasks, improve efficiency, and reduce expense to keep you moving in a positive direction. Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
A power line is more than a power line. It's maintaining the bottom line for small businesses. It's keeping the assembly line moving for our workforce. For our brightest minds, it's meeting a deadline. It's on the front line with our heroes. And on the sidelines of the biggest games. It's a direct line to our loved ones. And it's a lifeline for the most vulnerable. There's a lot on the line.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with Rick Velotta. He covers tourism and gaming for the Las Vegas Review-Journal. So we've got the new arena project that's going to be between Fontainebleau and the Sahara. And I'm hearing that we're going to see potentially 2 new towers attached to the Fontainebleau for high-end gaming. Can you share with us more?
Well, they're not exactly attached to the Fontainebleau, but they're being considered for acquisition by people who own the Fontainebleau. Those are 2 towers that are on former LVCVA land that was where the Riviera once stood. And it's like right next to the West Hall of the Las Vegas Convention Center. So it's very appealing for people who want to stay close to the convention center for attending shows, corporate events. And then the fact that there's a residential component to it makes it appealing for others that would want to be there for the same purpose. There's also an amusement ride that's set to be placed in that space, and it's really kind of tiny. It's like 10 acres, so it's not really that big. But the fact that they are going up, it's a very tall couple of buildings. That's going to increase the density of that area. And with increased density, you're also going to have other problems that, when you're right next to the convention center, that's going to cause a lot of congestion. So there's some things that have to be mitigated on that.
When you're talking about land space, the piece of property that Tillman Fertitta owns further down the strip is not that big either.
No, it isn't.
So, I mean,
Again, that's going to go upwards as well. I mean, you can just see that with the type of development that Mr. Fertitta wants to put in there, that in order to pencil it all out, it's going to have to be a luxury property, and it has to have a lot of rooms. And because that space is so limited in terms of how much room there is on the ground, building upwards is the solution.
And then his ownership in Wynn is, I mean, it's just amazing.
Yeah, they say that there's really no connection there, but you got to wonder, why would he invest in that to the level that he has? Certainly he's got something that he's thought about, and whether that is just somehow connecting to the Wynn database to get customers, I don't know. Maybe there's a partnership down the road, or there's some kind of a relationship down the road that would benefit Tillman Fertitta's development property. But getting friendly and investing in Wynn is certainly something that caught a few people's attention.
To say the least.
Yeah.
We'll take another break. We'll be right back with Rick Velotta after this.
The trucking industry is the most resilient link in the supply chain, moving 95% of our freight in the Silver State. And while essential, the road isn't always smooth. Supply chain disruptions, rising fuel costs, and unrealistic rules and laws that hamper our ability to serve our customers and country. Our prosperity and every sector of the economy, manufacturing, mining, medicine, and food from farm to table, is tied to trucks. There's nothing without trucking.
For 50 years, Nevada Heating has been keeping people comfortable in their homes. At Nevada Heating, call the Do It Right guys and get the heat back on today. Call us today and we'll fix it today. That's the Nevada Heating way. Why freeze for days on end when Nevada Heating can get your furnace fixed today? Call us today and we'll fix it today at 323-5585 or schedule us on our website at nevadaheating.com.
The Nevada Builders Alliance has been protecting the interests of the construction industry for over 50 years. Our programs save members thousands of dollars every year and allow them to provide much-needed benefits to their employees. Our industry also allows Nevada to grow. If you're thinking about a career in the construction industry, reach out. And if you haven't thought of a career in construction, what are you waiting for? We are the Nevada Builders Alliance.
Welcome to the Winnemucca Big R.
Hi, I'm John Walker. Welcome to Big R Lovelock.
Hi, I'm Rich Martin. Welcome to Fallon Big R.
My name is Braden. Welcome to Big R Fernley.
Hi, I'm Kelly. Welcome to Big R Sparks.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with Rick Velotta. He covers tourism and gaming for the Las Vegas Review-Journal. So the development at the airport, I was trying to figure out exactly why they're going to spend close to $4 billion on the current Harry Reid Airport, and without increasing capacity. And really, in talking to Chair Tick Segerblum with Clark County Commission, he said to bring Harry Reid up to the standard it should be, because when you look at other airports around the world and around the country, it just isn't where it's supposed to be. What are you hearing about this?
Yeah, there's been actually some criticism of Harry Reid International as far as a customer service level, but I think some of the improvements that they're discussing putting in there, first of all, it is going to expand capacity. let's be real. That's going to happen because they're adding so many new gates. But by adding new gates, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to have more flights. But in all likelihood, it will to a certain extent, not a massive extent. But the fact that they do have more gates means that there's going to be less situations where a plane will pull up, their gate is occupied, they have to wait. That's where the customer service gripes come in, is that, hey, my flight was on time. In fact, my flight was early, but I still wasn't able to get off the plane. Having those extra gates in place will take some of that problem away. And that's a good thing. And it's not just for international carriers, it's for domestic carriers too. Right now, international is growing at a greater clip than domestic. But at the same time, having those extra gates and having that extra room is going to be good. Also, having better access on the roadway system going into and out of the airport, that's going to be improved. Also, some more direct elevators and escalators going from the drop-off points directly to where the TSA is. That's going to be a nice thing. That's going to be a part of the project. That's the refurbishment of Harry Reid International.
Let's talk about the high cost of Las Vegas at this point in time. When talking about Circus, and I don't mean in any way to detract from Circus, because I enjoy going there myself, but it's a lot cheaper price point than staying, for example, at the Wynn or other properties of that caliber. Are we concentrating too much on the higher end, or is it that if we overdo it on the high end, that the casino industry knows how to back off and make it work?
That's an interesting assessment, Sam. I think that right now, I think a lot of the executives are looking at the fact that they might be pricing people out of the market. And not every customer is a luxury customer. Certainly Circus has its place. You can go down the list as to which properties are going to accommodate the lower spending people, and whether or not there is enough capacity for those. I think that the people of that the executives that run the casinos are smart enough that they're going to assess that. And this assessment might include things like, okay, what have we done to ourselves with this paid parking plan? What have we done to ourselves with these resort fees? Do we need to back off on that in order to bring in some of the people? Because some of the recent stories that I've written, there have been comments from people online that say, I can't afford it anymore. I used to come 4 times a year. I'm only going to come once this year. That's not something that the resort people want to hear. They want to hear that people are dying to come here, and no matter what the special event might be, that might be the one time I come to Las Vegas is for that special event that I want to attend, whether it's a concert or a football game, a basketball game, or whatever. It's going to be something that you save up for and come that one time instead of coming multiple times, which is what people have been doing more recently.
We've only got about 30 seconds here, but has there been any discussion about, with the fires in Southern California, how that might affect business in Southern Nevada?
Well, the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority believes that it's not going to have a long-term impact, but you've got to believe that with the number of homes destroyed and the number of people who were affected by those fires in Southern California, that there's going to be some repercussion. And I've been watching that closely to see what the numbers are looking like. It's too early to tell, but that would be my supposition, is that people are going to be staying home because they need to spend money at home.
And that's where we have to leave it. Never enough time, Rick Velotta. It's always a pleasure to have you here. Thank you. Always appreciate it. And we'll be right back.
Each day, the Children's Advocacy Alliance partners with leaders, legislators, and families across Nevada to improve children's health, education, economic well-being, and safety. We recognize Nevada will be no better than the state of its children. Be a part of this change. Be a supporter of the Children's Advocacy Alliance. For more information, go to CAANV.org.
Here on 7 at 7, we're bringing you the local headlines in just 7 minutes.
We've got you covered in the morning, evening, and for all breaking news in between and as it happens.
Life is busy, and we don't waste your time. Join us for local news now streaming on our YouTube page.
A new year brings new ways to win big with the $150,000 flurry of cash giveaways at Carson Valley Inn. Thursday and Saturday prize drawings, including up to $5,000 in cash and up to $10,000 during the grand prize giveaways, only at the Carson Valley Inn.
Imagine a magical garden that feeds Carson City's hungry and homeless, teaches our high school students agriculture, creates hanging floral displays to beautify downtown, and yet charges nothing. It's not magic. It's the Greenhouse Project. It's real, it's growing, and it needs your help. Go online to carsоncitygreenhouse.org so together we can grow it forward.
Thanks for watching Nevada Newsmakers, coming to you from the Ahern Hotel in Las Vegas. And now thanks to the staff and management of the Ahern Hotel for taking good care of us as always. Stay here when you're in Las Vegas. We'll see you on the next broadcast.